Dark-type Pokemon are some of the coolest and most unique Pokemon out there, and Pokemon Black and White are known to be on the harder side of the vanilla games. Combining the two creates a pretty big challenge as there are tons of counters to Dark types and many tough battles of these games. In this video, we'll be playing through Pokemon Black using only Dark types and we'll be using the classic Hardcore Nuzlocke rules on top of it. I expect this run to be pretty hard in the early game, as there are only 6 Dark types Pokemon we can catch in this playthrough. The first Dark type Pokemon we get is not exactly strong. I'm Waterbird, and I drive a 2023 Chevrolet Camaro. Let's get right into it. Because we're doing a mono-type run of Dark types, we name our character Wednesday and we get right into it. The game starts off with us talking to our partners Bianca and Sharon, and after this short little dialogue, we get to pick our starter. But unfortunately, in Pokemon Black, none of the starters actually evolve into a Dark type, meaning we can't use any of them. But for now, I pick Snivy, knowing I'm forced to replace it later when I catch my first Dark type. Fortunately for us, after some early dialogue with In and Team Plasma, our first Dark type is found early in Route 2, a Purloin. Purloin is our 2-starter Pokemon, as it's the only Dark type we can get until after the second gym. This means our early game is going to be heavily RNG dependent, as Purloin's stats are not the greatest and his ability is only decent. We name him Thing and we officially start the run. We make our way through Route 2, encountering Bianca at the end. We start the battle against her and her 2 Pokemon. Lillipup comes in and I take it down after spamming 3 scratches, but our defense is lowered and Oshawott comes in next. To my surprise, Purloin's scratches don't do nearly as much damage to Oshawott as they did to Lillipup, and when Oshawott goes down to yellow HP, Bianca heals it with the potion, forcing me to repeat the process all over again. I continue pressing scratch as Oshawott lowers her defense and then presses tackle, leaving us at 1 HP. For whatever reason, Oshawott used a tail whip next turn, leaving us alive and letting us kill it with a scratch. After the first real battle of the run, I'm questioning if this is even possible now, as we have to use Purloin to get through 2 gyms alone. But for some reason, I believe in this little kitty. We arrive at the next city, and then we go to trainer school to face Sheeran. He doesn't pose much of a threat, as our Purloin is 4 levels ahead of him and we get lucky with a few first swipes. And although our luck was good here, unfortunately, I'm gonna need a lot of good luck for the next fight, as I made a crucial mistake without even knowing it. You see, in Pokemon Black and White, the first gym leader is actually 3 different people, and the one you fight is determined based off of your starter. All of these 3 gym leaders all have a Lillipup, but their differences come with their second Pokemon, the Elemental Monkeys. Ceylon has a Pansage, Chili has a Panseer, and Crest has a Panpour. And the gym leader that you fight is the one that has the counter to your starter. So because I picked Snivy, I'll be fighting Chili. You might be wondering about that big mistake I just mentioned, and it has to do with Chili's Panseer. You see, this thing has a move called Incinerate, which when used, it attacks the enemy Pokemon with fire damage and it burns any berry they may be holding. And this is a big problem. Purloin's ability is Unburden, which raises the speed if a held item is used on that Pokemon, and the only held items we have right now are berries. Basically, we have to use our Oran Berry on Lillipup if we want to use it at all, or else it's getting burned by Panseer for sure. And the worst part is, I could have prevented this if I picked any other starter. But our choice was made, so I go right into the battle against Chili. We start off with our signature Furry Swipes, using 2 of them and getting unlucky rolls, so Lillipup lives on red HP. We get low as well, which triggers our berry, which makes Lillipup's ability activate and he uses the berry as well. With my berry successfully being used, I kill Lillipup after he uses a potion. And this brings in the scary Panseer. While he has no potion, I'm only at 18 HP and I have to kill this thing with only Furry Swipes, making it fully luck dependent. I decide to try something risky and go for a sand attack, lowering his accuracy as he works up. I do the same exact thing next turn, and so does he. My third sand attack comes out as he buffs himself again, and I go for a 4th one, realizing he's just let me lower his accuracy for free. After 2 more times, his accuracy is fully lowered, but his special attack and attack are at their max. If he hits me once, I'm certainly gonna die. I start going for Furry Swipes, hitting him twice and he misses his Incinerate. Next turn, I hit him 5 times with a crit and he also misses his Incinerate. The plan is working and the monkey falls the very next turn. We get our first gym badge. We head to the Dream Yard and we save a Mishrana. And now, we're on to the next city. After heading through Route 3, we encounter Sheeran again. We get very lucky with our Furry Swipes, knocking out his Tepig and Purloin pretty quick. In Wellspring Cave, we encounter Team Plasma again, but they're not the important thing here. After defeating them, we can look for gems, items that are unique to Black and White, which power up your moves depending on the type that they are. We're gonna need them in this run for sure, as they can help us get a lot of kills that wouldn't be possible otherwise. We exit the cave and we reach the Krene City, which to be honest, I'm very scared for. The first of 2 major battles here is In, and he has 3 whole Pokemon, and we just have our Purloin. So I feel like I just have to get lucky here or this run is over, especially since he has a Timbor with low kick. We start the battle and we knock out Pedo with some very unlucky fairy swipes, causing us to use our berry right away. Next is the Timber, who after 2 fairy swipes lives on 1 HP and then he low kicks us, which brings us down to 1 HP as well. Luckily next hit kills him, and then a Thief at 1 hit kills the Timpole, letting us somehow be in once again. Next is the gym leader Lenora, and after heading to her gym and solving her bookshelf puzzle, I look at her team and I generally have no idea how I'm supposed to do this without luck once again. While she only has 2 Pokemon, they're both very tanky, normal type Pokemon. And while my Purloin has evolved into a Liepard, it's still looking very rough, but we have to try. When we start the battle and a Herdier comes out first. Our normal gem fairy swipes doesn't do much damage as it only hits 2 times, but the Herdier continues to spam Leer on us, leaving us at full HP as we kill it, bringing in the scary Watchdog. I immediately go for another fairy swipes, which hits him 5 times and brings down a good chunk of his HP. Watchdog thankfully uses Leer, letting us go for another fairy swipes. He then goes for Hypnosis and we dodge that as well, allowing us to go for yet another fairy swipes, but it only hits 2 times. While the Watchdog is so low, he hasn't used an attack move yet, but finally, after I use that fairy swipes, he goes for Retaliate, and it hits me down to 11 HP. I have to kill the Watchdog here, or the run is definitely gonna be over. We use our final fairy swipes, and it hits him 5 whole times, knocking him out and somehow winning us this battle. I honestly didn't think we would make it this far, but now we beat 2 gyms, and we can finally continue on and catch another Pokemon soon. We continue on, helping Lenora get back her skull that Team Plasma gets stole from her, and head over the very beautiful Sky Arrow Bridge to Castelia City. Sometimes you just have to admire the beauty of these games. We arrive at the huge Castelia City, and before I do literally anything, I head right past it and go up to Route 4. Here, we can get our second Pokemon of the run, a Scraggy. If we get lucky and this thing's ability is Moxie, it can be a beast. We catch one, and we look at the ability, and it is indeed Moxie. An ability that after we knock out any Pokemon, it gets an attack boost, and with it, this Scraggy pulled a big attack IV, making him a very valuable Pokemon. We head back to Castelia City and we have to clear it of Team Plasma. We do so fairly quickly with our new Scraggy, and then we head into the gym. We clear through the honeycombs and bug types that the gym has to offer, and then we're on to Berg. We start off the battle with Thing versus Whirlipede. I start off the battle with a Fake Out and then go for some fairy swipes, getting Whirlipede down to half HP. After Whirlipede lowers my defense with some screeches, he goes for a Poison Tail, and that brings me down to pretty low HP. Luckily next turn I'm able to take the knockout with a Thief. Bird's Dwebble comes in next, and I go for some fairy swipes for Chip while he smackdowns me, bringing me down to 4 HP. I need to switch, so I bring in our only other Pokemon, Lurch the Scraggy. After some throat chops, Drebble goes down and we get our first Moxie boost. Berg's final Pokemon, Leviani, comes in next. Leviani is faster than me, so I go for a Dark Gem boosted Payback, and it takes him down to low HP, but he's not dead. I have to go for another one, hoping he doesn't kill me, so I do it, and he uses a Razor Leaf, leaving me at 2 HP. My Payback goes off and we get the badge, but that was very close. On the way out of Castelia City, we fight Bianca again. And while she has 4 Pokemon now, our Brick Break from Scraggy along with his Moxie boost, one hit kills every single Pokemon on her team. And this gives me joy knowing our rough early game with Purloin was worth it. We go back to Route 4 and here Sharon is directly waiting right after Bianca. He also has 4 Pokemon, but he suffers the same fate as Brick Break one hit kills every single Pokemon on his team. It turns out the Moxie boosted Scraggy is the GOAT. We head up to the desert resort from here and we encounter a Sandile, which will be the 3rd Pokemon on our team. He evolves into Crocodile, which is one of my favorite black-white Pokemon, a ground dark type which will be very helpful for us, and his abilities are also amazing. The Sandile we encounter has Intimidate, which if you don't know is a very good ability that lowers the attack of enemy Pokemon. His other ability that we could have rolled is Moxie, but since we already have a Scraggy with Moxie, I'm okay with Intimidate. With now half our party filled, we head into the next big city, Nimbasa City. After hunting Team Plasma down, we take a nice Ferris wheel with In, who reveals himself to be the king of Team Plasma. Big surprise, and now we have to battle him. We lead Thing against Sandile and go for a Fake Out immediately. After a single use of Fairy Swipes, the Sandile goes down and in comes Scraggy. As you may know from our Scraggy, this can be a problem, as he hits Brick Break, which can easily 1 or 2 shot every single one of my Pokemon, so I have to switch. I go into our own Scraggy Lurch and he uses a Swagger on me, so I'm confused. Luckily, we break out of the confusion first try and we knock out the Scraggy in 1 hit with Brick Break. Thanks to the snowball of a lead, we 1-hit kill the Sigilyph and Darumaka that comes in next, winning us the battle against In. That could have gone really wrong with the Scraggy, but we did it. On to the gym next. All of the trainers in this gym that are holding electric Pokemon stand no chance against our Scraggy and Sandile. We quickly make our way to the gym leader Elisa and we start the battle. We start off by using Hone Claws against Emolga instead of Fake Out, buffing our attack as I know he's going to go for a Volt Switch. A second Emolga comes in and this time I use Furry Swipes into it, knocking it out in one single Furry Swipe because we got a crit. That was lucky. I try to go for another Furry Swipe into the returning Emolga, but it uses Volt Switch into us and we get paralyzed, which brings in Elisa's Ace and forcing us to switch. I send in Sandile next, who's immune to his Volt Switch, and then we go for a dig, knocking the Zebra Strike out, and bringing in the Emolga one last time. Enid takes too much damage from the Emolga, so we have to switch in Lurch to finish the battle with the payback, which earns us our next gym badge. We continue on to Route 5, where we have to fight Sharon again. And if I have to summarize this battle against like many others, I lead with Lurch, I kill with Brick Break, and I sweep with Moxie. Except in this battle I had to switch in Sandile because things got too risky, but don't mind that. We next fight with Sharon in a double battle and we sweep easily. And now, another Black-White Bridge. If you're liking the video, please leave a like and subscribe, and consider subscribing to my Patreon where you can name Pokemon in my next playthroughs. It all really helps a lot, so thank you. We enter the city with probably the best soundtrack of any city in the series, and we have to hunt Team Plasma into an ice box. We defeat every member here one by one, and watch as Clay and his workers, which are low-key police I guess, take them away. This is short-lived though, as Getchus shows up in front of the gym and takes his gang back, granting me passage to the ground-type gym. I go deeper and deeper through this cool gym and get to Clay himself. It's time to get our next badge. We lead Lurch against Crocodoc. This is the evolution of Sandile, but he still stands no chance to Brick Break, and you know exactly what's going to happen to the next two Pokemon in the back. If I'm being honest, I know this is a dark type only run, but a fighting type move is carrying it hard. We move on from Clay and start heading to the next route, but we're stopped by Bianca. Luckily this fight isn't too hard as Scraggy takes care of the first two Pokemon, and Thing takes care of the Pansear and the Musharna, which is very tanky. Route 6 is a breeze, and Clay opens the way to Mistrotin Cave. Inside is a lot of Team Plasma, but we get through them pretty easy, and In is at the very end. He brings 4 Pokemon and leads with his Boulder, but we bring in Lurch and take it down with 2 Brick Breaks, giving us a Moxie boost and allowing us to sweep his entire team, just like many before. After In is Mistelton City, but before we can do the gym, we have to do a little side quest. We head immediately to the next route into the Celestial Tower, where we safely climb it, trying not to get overleveled from the billion trainers inside of it. At the top, we meet the gym leader, Skyla. After ringing the bell, Skyla reintroduces herself and we're ready to go to her gym and battle her. We head straight to the gym and make it to the top. After looking over Sky's team and come up with the game plan, we start the battle. I lead Enid the Crocodoc against the Swoobat, and we fire off a crunch that one-shots the Swoobat with a Dark Gem. 1 down. In comes Swanna, who I know has water moves and can one-shot our Enid, so we have to switch. I send in Thing, and we go for a Fake Out which is boosted by a normal gem, so it takes out a good chunk of Swanna's health. Swanna did get off an Aqua Ring this turn though, so she does heal a little bit. I decide to go for a Hone Claws while Swanna uses Air Slash, bringing me down to half HP. I go for a Shadow Claw, hoping it would kill because of my buffed attack, but it does not, and he goes for an Air Slash, bringing me down to 3 HP. We celebrate it by taking out the Swanna with another Ghost Claw because we're faster, and Skylar brings in her last Pokemon, the Unfazant. I switch Lurch into a Quick Attack, and then go for a Brick Break, taking down Unfazant's health a little bit. Next, I switch in Enid to get an Intimidate drop, and he uses Leer, so we essentially switch in for free. 2 crunches later, the Unfazant goes down, and Skylar gives us our flying gym badge. After the gym, we head back down Route 7, as we have yet another battle with Sharon. We lead with Thing, but we immediately switch because we see the Unfazant and he goes for a Detect, so it's safe. And a single Dark Gem boosted Payback knocks out his Unfazant in 1 hit, which brings in Pignite. We lower him with Payback and then we go for a Brick Break, hoping to get another Moxie boost, but he lives on 1 HP. He uses Takedown, but it misses, which probably saved our life. A second Brick Break takes the kill, and we have 2 Moxie boosts now, so we can easily sweep the last 2 Pokemon. After the battle, we head into Twist Mountain, and I probably take the wrong route about 3 times until we get out of it finally. The battles weren't too spooky here, as we just had to watch out for the fighting type moves that could have one-shot our Pokemon. But we make it out, and we head into Icarus City. The good news for us here is we don't have to do anything before we can enter the gym, so I take advantage of this and we go straight in, with a big smile on my face. And if you don't know why, our Scraggy has fully evolved into a Scrafty. I know this is a dark type only run, but Scrafty with Brick Break demolishes any ice type Pokemon in our way. And I'm perfectly fine with this. He's still a dark type. We one-shot every single Pokemon in the gym, and we get to the leader Bryson. Let's let Lurch do the talking for this one. 7 badges down, 1 to go. But before we can even get to the 8th gym, we get attacked by ninjas, and they tell us that Getchus has a message for us at Dragon's Battle Tower. We head to the top, battling several Team Plasma, and we meet Zekrom and In. After that, we have to go to the desert for some reason. We meet Getchus there. He tells us that In is the king and we're unable to stop him. And after a lot of dialogue, we get the Lightstone and we can finally go to the 8th gym. We head to Route 8 and start heading to the next city, but Bianca finds us and she wants to battle us. Luckily, Scrafty solos her entire team with Brick Break and Moxie. We're met by Getchus again on this cool little area, and we pass through the gate to get to Route 9, where we can actually catch our next Pokemon. There's actually 2 different dark Pokemon we can get here, a Houndour or a Pawniard. So whichever we encounter first is the one that we have to keep. We go into the bushes and we find a Pawniard, so that's the one we're keeping. Opelucid City is here, and after yet another Getchus speech, we go through some dialogue with Little Iris and Elder. Before we challenge the gym though, I head up to Route 10 and catch a Vullaby, a dark flying type that can be useful against ground and psychic. A problem and topic I personally dislike about Black-White though, is that Vullaby doesn't evolve until level 54. The level cap of the last battle in this game is 52, meaning we never get to evolve it. Black-White has several Pokemon like this, and I just wish they made the final evolutions a little lower. Despite that, Vullaby is a proud member of our team. We head into the gym with our 2 newfound dark types and start blasting our way through the trainers. Drayden's gym is a pretty long journey to the top, but we make it there after rotating a lot of dragons. We face them eye to eye and begin the battle, leading Lurch the Scrafty against Fracture. We go for a workup as the Fracture goes for a Dragon Dance, and I go for another workup as the Fracture goes for another Dragon Dance. I notice this pattern immediately and decide to test it. Next turn, he does use it and I go for a Brick Break, one-shotting the Fracture, giving me a Moxie boost on top of my 2 attack boost. Druddigon comes in next, but he stands no chance to a single high jump kick. And Drayden's final Pokemon Haxorus suffers the same exact fate. We earn our final gym badge with ease and we're off to Victory Road. We head back down to Route 10 and cross the bridge, but we get stopped by Sharon one last time. Pugsley the Pawniard takes care of Unfazant with several Metal Claws, which brings out Sharon's scary Embor. I switch to Enid, getting an Intimidate drop and taking a Flamethrower, and a single dig one-shots the Embor. Simisage comes in next and I send in Vullaby. An Air Slash lowers him down to half HP, but I have to switch so I don't lose Vullaby the next turn. Thing comes in and shoots out a Fake Out, and we are faster, so our Dark Gem boosted Night Slash finally kills the Simisage. Sharon's final Pokemon Liepard comes in, so I'm going to send in the classic counter Lurch with the Brick Break to finish the battle. We move on to the giant doors and check our badges, and enter one of the coolest victory roads in history. And can you guess the first Pokemon that we encounter? Our 6th and final Pokemon of the Dark type run, a Dino. Sadly, like Vullaby, we can't fully evolve him to Hydreigon, but we still get to see Zweilious in a bit. I clear the Victory Road and defeat a lot of trainers after getting lost a little bit, and we make it to the entrance of the Elite Four. I adjust my team moves and plan for a little while, and then we head straight into the final gauntlet with 6 of the 8 Dark-type Pokemon in the game. I decide to start with the Ghost-type Elite Four Chantel. It can be tricky, but I'm pretty confident. I lead Dino into a Cofagrigus and go for a workup while tanking a Shadow Ball. With my small buff, I go for a Dark Gem boosted Crunch to one-shot Cofagrigus and bring in Galurk. I switch in Enid, who takes a massive super effective Brick Break, but Intimidate helped lower the damage just a little bit. My Dark Gem boosted Foul Play takes the scary Galurk out quick, and Chantel sends in her tanky Jellicent. I switch to my full HP Liepard Thing to take a Surf, and we use a Dark Gem boosted Night Slash to get another one-hit kill thankfully, forcing Chantel to send in her last Pokemon, Chandelier. I go for a Night Slash, but to my horror, the super effective move does not kill, and Chandelier hits us with a massive Fire Blast, taking our Thing out of the run. We lost what was essentially our starter of the run, who somehow made it through the early game alone and kept the run alive. He will be missed, Liepard, but we still have to finish this battle. Lurch comes in and takes revenge on Chandelier and wins us the fight, but that death still hurt, especially knowing that we have to make it through the rest of the game now with only 5 Pokemon. Next, we head into the Dark Chamber and meet Grimsley, the Dark-type Elite Four. Does his team look familiar to you? We own the only 6 Dark-type Pokemon in the game possible right now, besides Houndour and Yveltal, so it's not surprising to see his team is exactly like ours. We start the battle and lead Scrafty against Scrafty. We immediately use High Jump Kick, which is boosted by the Fighting Gem to guarantee the kill on the enemy Scrafty, giving us a Moxie boost and bringing in Liepard. Liepard uses a Fake Out and next turn an Aerial Ace, bringing us down to half HP, but we kill with a single Brick Break, letting Grimsley send in his B-Sharp next. He uses Aerial Ace and we barely leave it on 3 HP, nearly give me a heart attack. We kill with a Brick Break, bringing in Crocodile. And I realize this is a big problem. My only reliable way of killing Grimsley's Crocodile was with my Scrafty, but now that I can't use it, this is very dangerous. But I think I have a solution. I know this Crocodile is 100% gonna go for his Earthquake, so I switched to Volibee, who is immune. This baits Dragon Claw, so I switched to my own Crocodile, who takes the hit pretty nicely. The important thing about this interaction is the Intimidate drop. Now if I switch back to Volibee again, who is immune to Earthquake, and back to Crocodile again, I can slowly lower his attack to -6, while only Crocodile takes a little damage at a time. And after finally lowering the Crocodile's attack to -6, I can switch back to Volibee and use an Air Slash. But despite this, Crocodile gets a critical hit on his Dragon Claw, bringing my Volibee down to 9 HP, making this even scarier. I switched to Pugsley the Pawniard essentially for free, as Dragon Claw does very little damage, and go for an X-Scissor. Crocodile's health falls to yellow and he hits Pugsley with an Earthquake, forcing me to switch out yet again as he's faster than me. I go back to Volibee for free and then switch to Dino. I need this to kill Crocodile in a single hit so he doesn't use potions, so I go for a workup on my first turn. And then finally, a Dark Gem boosted Crunch with the workup boost wins us a terrifying battle against Grimsley's Crocodile. 2 Elite 4 down and 2 to go. We continue the battle on to the next Elite 4, the Psychic type user, Caitlin. Luckily for us, Psychic is naturally weak to Dark types, so I lead Lurch against a Reuniclus, however you pronounce it, and I go for a Dark Gem boosted Crunch, one-shotting it and giving us a Moxie boost. Sigalith comes in next and suffers the same fate minus the Dark Gem, giving me 2 Moxie boosts, and a Crunch finishes Gothitail off easily, and Musharana stands no chance against a Scraggy with 3 Moxie boosts and a Crunch. Finally, a good matchup for our Dark types. Our next Elite 4 member, however, is not a good matchup. Marshall is the Elite 4 fighting type user, and he's easily the scariest in my eyes as every single of his Pokemon have fighting type moves that can do great damage to my Pokemon. I strategize and finally level my Pokemon up to level 50, which is the max they can be for the Elite 4, getting Zweilous out of this as well. After some thinking, we go into the battle. We lead Scraggy against Throw and decide to go for a workup. He hits me with a Storm Throw, which is a move that always crits, bringing Lurch to yellow HP and proccing my Citrus already. I go for a high jump kick, doing a good chunk of Throw's health, and tank another Storm Throw, leaving me at 9 HP. Luckily, I am faster, letting me kill him with another high jump kick. Conkeldurr comes in next, and with the Moxie boost, I use a high jump kick to get rid of him in a single hit. Mienshao enters next, and I switch to Volibee and tank and Retaliate. I did this so I can bait Rock Slide and switch in Crocodile, who barely takes any damage and gets an Intimidate off. We use Dig, and Mienshao goes for a high jump kick, which misses since we were underground, and she damages herself to half HP. And next turn, the Dig comes out of the ground, and we successfully get rid of the Mienshao. Marshall's last Pokemon Sock comes in, and one Dig takes him down to yellow, as a Karate Chop almost kills us in return. Luckily it doesn't, and the Dig secures us the victory. Somehow, he made it through Marshall without any deaths or the run ending. The Elite 4 is finished. We move on to the champion Alder, but find that In has already defeated him and became the new champion. A cutscene plays as a huge building comes out of the ground in black-white style, and with the gym leaders backing us up, we head up the tower to the final 2 fights of the game. At the final door, we enter and we find In. He gives a final speech and Zekrom slams through a wall, and our light stun activates, bringing in Reshiram. We are forced to catch him, but we can't use him because he's not a dark type, but now the real fight begins. In sends out his Zekrom to start with, and we lead Gomez the Zweilous. He hits us for a Fusion Bolt, which looks scary but isn't effective at all. And we use Dragon Tail, hitting for super effective damage and forcing Zekrom to be switched out. Carracosta comes in next, so I switch in Scraggy into a Stone Edge. We go for a workup, and Carracosta procs her Citrus Berry with the Waterfall. Now it's time to attack with the high jump kick, activating Carracosta's Sturdy. Next turn, In uses a full restore, and we proc the Sturdy once more, before finally killing the Carracosta the next turn and getting a Moxie boost. Klinkling comes out next, but we easily one-shot with Brick Break as it turns out to be a Zoroark. And then the scary Zekrom comes back in, and I know I have to switch out now as he can easily kill me with a Fusion Bolt. So I switch in Crocodile for free, who's immune to Fusion Bolt. We use Dig, and when we come out of the ground, Zekrom easily falls. In sends in his Vanillix next, so I switch to Pugsley, and luckily it's a free switch for us as Vanillix misses his Blizzard. I go for a Metal Claw, and Vanillix misses his Blizzard yet again, and a second Metal Claw secures the kill. The real Klinkling comes out next, and my Crocodile comes back out. A single Dig is not enough to kill it, but it brings it down to yellow HP. And next turn, another Dig does kill. In's last Pokemon Archeotops comes in. And after taking an Acrobatics, a Dark Gem boosted Flower Play one-shots the Archeotops, and we defeat In. A cutscene plays of In, and spoiler alert, the real villain Gutsus reveals that he was just using In to rule the world. After one last speech from him, the final battle begins. Dino is led against Kofagrigus, and I go for a workup while getting hit by Toxic. I go for a second workup, and Kofagrigus protects, trying to Toxic stall me, and when I finally try to attack him, he gets a double protect off. Next turn, my crunch does hit, and Kofagrigus falls immediately. The fully evolved counterpart of us comes in, and I decide not to switch as it's the last battle. I only need one Pokemon left to win. Fortunately for us, this pays off as Hydreigon misses his Focus Blast, and we get off a Dragon Pulse, bringing him down to right HP for free. Gastus uses his full restore, but another Dragon Pulse takes him down exactly where he was before. My Dino Gomez finally falls to the poison, but he certainly did his job. I send in the goat of the run, Lurch. Scrafty barely tanks a Focus Blast, and a Brick Break takes out the Hydreigon. We are very low now, but the Bouffalant that Gastus sends out still stands no chance to a high jump kick and falls in one hit. Electros comes in next, and with 2 Moxie boosted stands 0 chance against a high jump kick as well. Gastus sends Seismitoad in next, and while I was 100% sure Lurch would fall this turn, Seismitoad misses his Muddy Water, allowing us to one-shot him next. Lurch, you were undoubtedly the reason that this run worked at all. B-Sharp comes in next, and we finish it off with a signature move of our Dark type run, a fighting move, a Brick Break. Gastus falls, and after an emotional cutscene of in, we did it. The credits start playing, and our Dark types have prevailed. It was a very enjoyable run, but it was hard at the start, of course, with only a Purrleon. But we did make it because Scrafty and the others carried. If you liked this video, please leave a like and subscribe, and consider subscribing to my Patreon. It really helps out a lot. Feel free to leave your favorite Dark type in the comments, and thank you for watching.